This is a video of Robbie for Ruth. So a lot like your lesson the other day, we started out with some canter poles. And I like to think of the canter poles as just giving us some feedback on where the canter is at. So he was able to really nicely, on his right lead, keep a consistent rhythm, consistent balance, and have sort of even track work in between the poles. So he did 5 strides, 5 strides. So that's telling me that he's where I want him in between my aids. His balance in the canter is where I want it, and we're ready to start catching some little jumps. And at this point, the jumps aren't that big or that exciting, but it's just, again, giving us some feedback on where he's at in his canter, and giving him the confidence that he can look down the reins and read the fence in front of him. And here you can see as I come to this turn, I just say, well, can we do a little change? And he's pretty clearly like, not really sure what you're asking for. So rather than whip him through the turn, I decided in the next course to just go ahead and pick off some little cavalettis to help him understand the changes. So now we do the same thing off the left lead, and again, keeping that consistent rhythm, consistent track work. Since he's doing 5, not 4 strides, we're a little bit to the outside, but it stays consistent throughout. And then here, I just sort of school the aids for the changes over cavalettis, rather than just doing it on the flat, because a lot of times that's hard for them to understand. I think obviously he's raced at some point, he did changes on the track, but that is a lot of time coming from speed and not really understanding of the footwork and the aid that goes into it. So we just catch a few cavalettis. So now he's starting the long, slow process of understanding that aid. And it won't come overnight, but he has a good enough canter. There's no reason he can't do changes. And then we go ahead and catch our little jump again. Again, just kind of giving us some feedback on where the canter's at. He lands in the same rhythm. Pretty happy with that effort. And then as I pick him back up, we go back to the oxer the other way. And here to me is the first time, like, he went to get a little bit crooked, so I closed my leg to correct him, and he went from one rhythm on the takeoff, which was possibly because he got a little bit crooked, to another rhythm on landing. So to me, that was just a little bit of a warning sign that he's not understanding that he has to stay on my leg and can't use my hand for balance. So on the landing, you see I put him together pretty quickly and still ask for a change over the pole on the ground, so that he's back to work, back in a canter that's functional. But now I've decided, okay, that was a little bit of a warning sign. Let's go back to trot and make sure that he's not sort of running at the jumps, that he's really understanding and he's willing to go down and do the footwork at the base of the fence. So here I come and trot, quite a light rein, but he leaves a stride out. And so that to me is like a very clear boundary. You're not looking, you're not paying attention. That's not safe. You've taken the aid of my hand, you're not using it correctly anymore. So I correct him on the landing side, not the takeoff. And then I come back the other way. Again, quite light reins on takeoff, and he still does a canter stride, but it's to the base, and it's good footwork with him making a good shape, a safe shape over the jump. So I was happy with that. On the landing, I did still pull up, but he was lighter, happier, and overall I thought a more educated horse for that ride. So that was his school today. I will keep you posted and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.